The mother planned to push her son into the river. It was discovered by a girl who was taking wedding photos. The girl immediately ran forward in an attempt to stop it. The child's mother, annoyed at her meddling, pushed her into the river. When her boyfriend arrived and pulled her ashore, the girl had already fallen into a coma due to drowning. Although her boyfriend took her to the hospital immediately, drowning had caused severe brain damage. Doctors said the girl had entered a vegetative state and was unlikely to recover in her lifetime. The young man knelt, begging the doctors to save his girlfriend. However, the doctors advised him to give up treatment as early as possible, because the chances of a vegetative patient recovering were extremely slim. Moreover, the cost of further treatment was astonishingly high. To save his girlfriend's life, the young man abandoned his studies and took a job at a construction site moving bricks. In his spare time, he would always go to the hospital to massage his girlfriend. This persistence lasted for 3 years. He even got into fierce arguments with his parents over this, almost severing his relationship with them. But who could have imagined that his act of kindness at that moment would eventually completely change the course of his life? Because the girl's mother was a billionaire conglomerate chairman. During the 3 years that her daughter had been missing, the chairman never stopped searching for her daughter. She issued a public statement that anyone who could provide a clue about her daughter would receive a reward of $10 billion. At the same time, the young man continued to care for his vegetative girlfriend with all his heart. His sincerity touched his co-workers, and his co-workers lent him money so he could pay for her treatment. The young man's mother verbally called him foolish for doing this, yet she still took out all her savings for him. Only then did he understand that his parents were not really blaming him. On his father's 60th birthday, the young man brought his vegetative girlfriend home to celebrate his father's birthday. Seeing his son's return, his father was overjoyed. Little did he know that his eldest uncle's family had not been invited. The moment they stepped into the courtyard, they wore expressions of utter disdain. Upon seeing how simple the young man's family's meal was, they even mocked that the meal wasn't even good enough for a dog. The mother, taking into account that they were relatives, did not hold it against them, and even planned to cook a new meal to serve them. But this only earned her their ridicule and mockery. They claimed that the young man had driven his family into poverty for the sake of a vegetative patient, and asserted that they couldn't even cook a decent meal. They then urged him to quickly abandon this burdensome girlfriend. The young man argued that his girlfriend was not a burden at all, yet his eldest uncle's family still showed expressions of spite. They even mocked that their visit today was not to argue, but rather to hand them money. Hearing this, the young man's father wore a face full of suspicion, unable to believe that they could be so generous. It turned out that the eldest uncle's daughter's fiancé was a wealthy second-generation heir. He had heard that the conglomerate chairman was planning to develop a tourism project in the village, so he planned to first purchase the land at a low price and then present it to the chairman, in order to ensure his career would flourish. However, his offered price was $100 per square meter. The young man immediately refused upon hearing this. The wealthy second-generation heir had already dispatched excavators with the intent to forcibly seize the land, regardless of whether they agreed or not. Just as the wealthy heir was about to take action against the young man, the vegetative girlfriend suddenly regained consciousness.